how's it going? My name is EDC4, and sorry about the crappy mic quality, or the camera quality for that matter. But so today, I've known about this for about I think this week, just in general. Daniel T, for some reason he posts on Daniel T Gaming, but okay. Daniel T made a video about why people are so obsessed with TV logos. And before you ask, yes, I did help him with this, especially more just in general, just the past, like going back to the past and seeing what logos they were. And I think it's a well, I want to address some things that people might have questions for, and let's just go all around with the first idea. That being that why are some of these logo edits deleted off of YouTube? Well, that's just I mean, this is questions I'm thinking of at the moment, so I'll be answering them for you. So even if you didn't ask these questions, I'm gonna answer it for you because who knows? I guess I'll just do it. Now, the idea is that a lot of these logo edits may not exist because of it's not necessarily because of the logos itself. It would have to be from the user's channel. As an example, I remember there's a channel called Alkenboy. I think that's how you pronounced it, and I'm pretty sure he's made more accounts over the years about the same thing. But his original account was suspended. And I was pretty sure that was because of content about Aggie and the cockroaches. I think is what it was. I think it was what it was called. I should say. Now, what's the why are some of these just taken down? Probably because of copyrighted reasons on their channel. Very rarely is a logo actually copyrighted and taken down. The only companies I can think of that somewhat do that, because they don't do it often, is Fox, 20th Century Fox. So technically, even maybe Disney, maybe WWE. WWE is kind of more. They don't want a lot of their stuff on YouTube, so they'll take it down, even their logos. Which have a funny story to tell, but I'm probably not gonna say it at all. And somewhat Viacom, but it's more Nickelodeon based. So I would say I would just make an assumption, just say Viacom in general. Now, this is a couple of the other questions that I was not asked. I was just making some up at this exact time. Real quick, I want to mention something. I showed Daniel this video about Paramount Television gets Hazan. And, in case you're wondering, this was a... he didn't really explain what it was because he didn't really know. But to make it short and simple, this was based off a... This was based off a. It's based off a. It was a fad. It was a fad on YTeamND.com, which yes, it still exists, but you can't really make accounts on it anymore. So it's kind of just it's kind of more just like a nostalgia based / archived version of YTeamND. There are some people who still use it, but it's not as often as in 2005 and 6. There's a fad on YTeamND about it was about a the wrestler. I forgot what it was. I think it was Muhammad Hussein or something like that. I'm probably saying it wrong. It was ironically it was a WWE wrestler, and there was a thing where you would just insert him and claim that you have been Hassan, kind of like gnoming, like you've been gnomed, but more of a I mean, it's pretty much the same thing, but like, with a different thing. Instead of it being a gnome, it's more just a WWE wrestler. And I mean, some of that did carry over to YouTube because YouTube, first of all, YouTube was kind of more 2005. It wasn't 2004. It wasn't really 2006 because a lot of people consider 2006 to be when YouTube was made. 2005, pretty much. And essentially, YTeamND did exist at that time. In case you're wondering what it even was, it was pretty much just a Just think of it as GIFs with sound, in the sense that you have GIFs, you have sound, you can input an image, or you can have text, which is mainly just like the zooming out text. Kind of that effect, if that makes sense. Now, something I really want to try and mention in this video, kind of just a bit of a general topic video, is heuristic scan VEG replacements. Now, this was a very common type of video in the logo editing community as far back as, I will say, 2014, because that's when it really hit big. It was kind of more, it just happened and then it went big. It kind of like went like a gold. It's like a gold album. It went big, and now it's pretty much everywhere. I'll probably say a platinum album, just to be more exact. Pretty much, in case you're unfamiliar, this was a YTMPV YouTube Poop music video about Actually, real quick, I should probably mention what the acronym for YTMD is. It stands for Your Man Now Dog. Alright, now we'll go back to YTPMV, YouTube Poop music video. It's from 2010. It was from a now, I would say somewhat gone, but I'm pretty sure I know his new account. I'm not saying it because I haven't gotten any confirmation. I've messaged him on Twitter and he hasn't really replied yet. So it's open, but I'm pretty sure I might know where his new account is. But it was a channel called Mexican Sunflower, and pretty much, I also have a fear about this too. But pretty much that kind of got leaked around, and it was very easy to find that one because of VEG replacements actually including the VEG itself available for download. Especially I think the main one was unfinished projects plus some VEG replacements, which is all pretty much just that's one scan VEG replacement. And in case you're wondering, I would consider VEG replacements to be kind of in the sense that I think VEG replacements were more they were, how do I describe it? I'm trying to think of the word, but I think I know where exactly it kind of originated to be more of a logo editing type of thing. There is a channel that still exists today, you can find it. However, most of the videos have either been privatized or deleted, so you'll have to be very lucky if you can find an upload of it. There are a lot of re-uploads of heuristic scans, so it might be possible. There is a YouTuber named Megan Woodman C. MAGANWOODMANSEEE, or SEE, I should say, not, don't carry the E with it. Pretty much, he got his hands on, I think, actual Vegas itself, not a Keegan, not a, trial, more just, in general, an actual copy of Vegas, Sony Vegas, I should say, and, he found the VEG and just pretty much uploaded a lot of these uploads onto YouTube, which I'll say, I mean, it's not his fault, because in the meantime, it's pretty much just, Megan Woodman C was more of a logo editor who, in fact, I might even go as far as to say he was more, one of the most popular logo editors of the, the mid-2010s. Even early 2010s to a standard, even though his channel didn't exist in 2010 necessarily, so in 2013. I would describe it as, sorry, burp there. I would kind of describe it as, he was someone who tried to upload a lot, which is probably why logo editing is the way it is today, because he did pretty much the exact same things. For one thing, he did like a lot of YouTube video editor, which now doesn't exist, but pretty much it was a video editor that used Creative Commons videos, which probably doesn't mean anything anymore because you can just use a downloader to download any video you want. It really depends. You have to find a specific downloader for specific videos, like music videos as an example. Pretty much, he pretty much made edits of pretty much all he did was add thermal and cinemascope on, or actually thermal cinemascope and stabilization onto a random video, and a lot of them happen to be logo based. And on a side note, I feel like the reason logo editing is how it is today is mainly due to YouTube Video Editor, because there was a button that no longer exists now, but it was pretty much just a button that said remix this video. It was back before the Google Plus 2013 update, but I think it was 2011, I would like to say, because I think that's when they re-updated their layout system. And I would kind of describe it as a lot of logo videos had that Creative Commons like added onto it. And the reason that a lot of these logo editing videos may be in Creative Commons itself was because a lot of people put it on there, especially people like Perry Mason logos is for fun or something like that. I forgot what the channel's name was called, but it was terminated like way back then. But it was pretty much logos were added onto Creative Commons by their users. Their users could choose if videos can be on Creative Commons, and it just so happened that a lot of them just happened to be on Creative Commons. I'm not sure how exactly people found them, but people found them pretty much is what I'm trying to say. And I'm not sure if it's because of popularity or if it's just because of a local community stumbling upon them and someone might have done something, which is why I consider Megan Woodmansee to be one of the more original founders of logo editing as it is today. Now, on a side note, like heuristic scan effect replacements are popular today, but they weren't as popular as 2013, 14, even 2015 in a weird combination, because that's when it really started to die down. Alright, next up, I want to address logo remakers, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm pretty sure a lot of logo editors did a lot of logo remakes as well, concurrently as well. I think I would describe it as, I think the only one that I know that kind of fits that description, I mean there's a lot of them, but I don't really know their names. I think the only one I know that fits that description is Skylar McFadden, which was more back then. He doesn't really do logo editing now, but he used to do a lot of logo editing around almost the same time period, kind of just 2012 in general. Now, I want to just take a brief moment and say that the logo community has existed for a very long time. Their earliest known group was the CLG Wiki. It was before the wiki actually existed. The wiki has existed since 2007. There was a wiki called KRS Logos, which was 2005. However, the original CLG was a group on Yahoo Groups, and that has existed since '99. The 1990s. So it's been a very long. In fact, pretty much, I should probably say this right now. It's pretty much the 20th anniversary as I'm making this video, in terms of years, obviously, because I don't know when it was actually founded, as on the top of my head right now. But they probably have some info on CLG. In fact, I could probably do it right now. They should have a thing on the bottom. Well, it doesn't really say any. You know what I mean? 1999. So, I mean, obviously, of course, it means the 20th anniversary. I should probably mention this unscripted, so that's probably why I'm stumbling on words. That's kind of really all the ones that I know people would have questions about. Obviously, I have if you want to go back to Daniel T's video, I currently have a comment where you can ask me more questions, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. I've been in a logo community since 2011, or I should say 2011, and I'm still in it to this very day. I've been on the logo editing community for almost about 8 years now. So, and I was a kid back then when it was when I joined in 2011. So it's going to be a very interesting experience talking to people in Daniel T's video. I want to make this video as addressing some of the questions I know people would ask. I have one more thing before I end this video off. Why do people do it in the first place? I feel like a lot of people do. The local community is more just archiving, so obviously that would be a very broad topic, but pretty much archive it any way you can. There was a site called Zippy Videos, I'm pretty sure. I think that's what it was called, where a lot of these stuff like Klosky, Chippo, Surprise 2, as an example. I would kind of describe it as a it's a very weird idea, but I would describe logo editing as more just people did it back then, and people caught on to that, and as a result, people started doing that more because they had a lot of free time on their hands. I mean, they're kids. Obviously, they would have a lot of free times on their hands. Like, you're not really pushed as hard as a kid than a teen, even an adult. Now, I'll probably say one more thing, and that is that there's a lot of these different types of logo editing videos. There's the talk to, there's reverse, fast forward, slow, putting a random effect on gradient map on Vegas, and then putting some sort of vocoder using, like, I think IL Vocodex, I think is what it was called. Pretty much all I want to say is this. The logo community is like any other community. There's people who will do just the craziest stuff, but at the same time, can you really blame them? I mean, it's kind of a bit of a risk and reward, maybe. I would describe it as logo editing was something that it's pretty much just anything in general. Okay, I'm kind of lost for words. Pretty much what I'm trying to say is the logo editing community is I mean, it's kind of hard to explain, but to be quite honest with you, it's just people having fun in a weird little side project, if you want to call it that. Bit of a weird community that, if you think it's good or bad, it has at least done a lot of good in archiving whatever it might try to archive. It might do all this, all that. The entire reason logo community exists is for archiving logos so that they don't get lost to time. Because isn't that what archiving is about? It's about trying to archive anything you can find online in a digital form so that people don't necessarily have a like, if people have memories of it, you can probably find it online. And on a side note, just a very quick side note, in case you're wondering, you can click off the video if you're about logo editing at this point, or if you want to ask any questions. You can probably ask me more questions on the Daniel T video, but this is something I want to throw out. Article 13 from the European Union, the EU team, I guess you can say, has been passed, and that's a bad move because technically uploading logos is kind of breaching copyright. Even if you edit it, it's still technically, I mean, it's fair use at that point, but if you're just uploading the logos, it's kind of shady, but at the same time, people are definitely aware of it, especially with the videos like these, especially because big corporations might see this like 1 million viewed like video about Klosky Chippo effects number 2. Pretty much all you need to know is that if Article 13 passed, and if they get a revote, because they're trying to not get a revote, pretty much I would describe it as, I hope they get a revote, because, and just because, it would make uploading logos illegal in the European Union. And while I do not know that many people in the European Union that upload logos, like Britain, for example, that aren't on the top of my head, because a lot of people are from the US, strangely the Philippines, a little bit in the UK, obviously, and kind of more, Europe's kind of just a bit, like, they don't do much on Europe. I'm very sorry, but they don't really upload that many logos on Europe. I mean, there's obviously the more, very known very known uploaders like TR3X, which like there's Terrafrex. I mean, it's very hard because I don't know that many people that are from the European Union or like just Europe in general that upload logos in the sense that they upload logos as for fun. It's not like they upload logos just to archive them, which is technically the same thing. What I'm trying to say is that I don't know people from the European, like even Asia to a standpoint, that upload logos on a regular basis. So it's more of a U.S. thing, but I mean the community is all around the world. So I hope if Article 13 gets a revote, because there have been about several MEPs that actually didn't know what they were talking about, so they just voted for they kind of just voted like assumptions, and if they get revoked, you have to be lucky. This is EDC4 signing out. I mean, I don't know. I'm not signing out. I'm just finishing the video. But you know, it's just a little side thing I want to just have. A little upload video. Might do more stuff like this in the future. Might even have video editing. So, thank you guys.